Hello and welcome to the Beats by Travis podcast. I'm your host, Travis Smith, and today we're going to talk about the 5 things that I suggest that you should do whenever you start a new band. I have a new project that I've started called Cosmic Alchemy, and on this episode I'm going to talk about the actions that I took while getting the band started. The podcast is sponsored by Bandzoogle. You can go to bandzoogle.com, and there you'll see that it's a website platform that is made for bands and artists to be able to create a website from a theme of your choosing. You just go and check out your theme. You can plug in your band information in, and there you go. You got a website, and whenever you want to purchase it, you could type in the promo code Beatsbytravis15 to save yourself 15% on that website. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I thought this might be a little helpful episode because I've started many bands in my life, and I thought it might be helpful as while I'm going through the process of what I'm physically doing as I'm creating this new project called Cosmic Alchemy, which consists of my friend Ambrosia, DJ Afrosia is what she goes by when she's DJing, and my friend Michael Hanna, who's been in a band called The Juice with me, who absolutely rips on the saxophone, and he's going to be joining me with her as well for we're in the beginning stages of the band. So through this kind of series of this podcast that I'll be doing, I'll be able to talk about how it's developing. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know what the sound is going to be like. And at the time of recording this episode, we've done a few shows, but what we're covering right now is just what did I do on the very first day while starting the band. And it was, we really just started with, you got to start with, what are the things that you're going to be doing as you do business? You're going to need an email was the very first thing that I did, something that all the band members could log into. I usually use Gmail, usually works best for Google. You can work within the Google Drive. Everybody can upload everything and see it and share content, which will be in the next couple episodes, and I'll be talking about that. Obviously, first thing is we decided on a Gmail name. We decided on cosmicalchemyband.com. And just log in, create that email at Gmail, and as you get that rolling, share that with everybody. I would start something, if you want to share a drive within that Google Drive that has the passwords and stuff like that in it that everybody can see, or just pass that around, then everybody has access to it. But that email address is crucial. Sometimes somebody might start, if they're doing most of the business in a band, the person that is doing the business might start the email address there within their name, and that's helpful. But you never know if that person's going to leave or not, or what's going to happen, or what the next what could be coming down the road. So having something that's kind of shared within the band, regardless of what band members are in it, is a little bit helpful to have. So get that email started. That's going to be, you sign up with everything. That way you don't have different logins for different things. And it's just a little bit easier to streamline your process. So step number 1, get yourself an email created. The second thing is you're going to want to start your social media channels. If you're curious exactly what social media platforms you need to be signing up for, you're going to want to sign up for the platforms that the venues that you're wanting to play and where your music is going to be heard, what platforms are they going to be using? So start there. Obviously, Facebook, Instagram, and now if you want to use X or Twitter, that's up to you. And TikTok, if you think your audience is younger and is on the TikTok platform, then you'll want to start a TikTok. And whenever you start these, start them with the email that you created for your band, and that way everybody knows what the login is, and everybody can contribute to the content if that's something that you guys want to do, and if you're doing yourself or your team or whomever. Obviously, you have your band name, you've got the email started, and you've got your social media started. Now I would go and secure a domain. And if you can, secure a web host while you're at it. A web host is the digital real estate where your website lives online, and your domain is the .com or the .net or whatever you want it to be that points to that particular host. So I would start by trying to find something within your band name, band, or something music or whatever reflects what you're doing. And if you're not an artist and you have a business, you're going to want something that is the shortest and easiest to remember, that reflects your brand of whatever it is. So, I have one that's kind of tough because my band is called The Juice. So we had to do Listen to the Juice, which is kind of tough and kind of long, but there really wasn't a lot available with The Juice. But say your band name is um, Holy Grail or something like that, you would have like Holy Grail Music or Holy Grail Band or something like that. So making it easy to find yourself, I always think of it as what would that person guess if they're trying to find your domain. The faster you go and lock that down, not necessarily because somebody might take it or anything like that. It's just good to have locked it in, and that way whenever you get ready to create your website and get that going and rolling out, you're going to have that ready to go. And if you've created websites in the past, you already know all these things, but if you haven't, just go lock those in and we'll circle back on creating a website later. And I highly suggest that you go to Bandzoogle, which is a website platform that is made just for folks like yourself that need to create a website, and they have a lot of things they can choose from. I know they sponsor the podcast and this is an ad, but if you type in Beatsbytravis 15, it really does save you. And I mean, you can create a website in like 30 minutes to an hour if you're pretty savvy on a computer. So get yourself a domain. That's number 3. Number 4, this is something where some folks, it's kind of hard to explain exactly why you would want to jump on a logo so early in a career, but now you have profile icons and your social media, and you want to build something that digitally represents what your music does. So a quality logo that stands out to people that you're cool with. The second that you start getting shows, people are going to be asking for your logos. If you're playing on a festival, they're going to ask for sometimes a one-color version of your logo. So I would find creatives in your area and other artists that are looking for opportunities to maybe get their name out, and they're willing to do a logo at an affordable price. Or if you want to pony up $300 to $500, you can get a quality logo from somebody that has multiple you might have a full color and then a few other options to choose from without the background, sometimes in a vector and a high res that you're able to put on your banners, you're able to put on your t-shirts, you're able to put on all types of different stuff. So I'm always a big cheerleader for getting a logo right off the bat and kind of be looking at what colors represent your band when you create your website. This kind of plays into the branding, but that to me, that is something that you shouldn't be afraid of. You should look at that as something to be excited about. This is a chance for you to put a visual face to your band and turn it into something where somebody might kind of get a feel for what your music is before they even hear it. And anything you can do to hit people with more senses whenever you're marketing to them, honestly, with music, you're just trying to get an emotion out of somebody. So you can do that with colors too. So it just kind of helps whenever you're putting these things together with music. It's kind of like whenever a good music video helps make a song. I kind of look at it like that. So number 4, that's a logo. And number 5, a gigging strategy. Kind of set that up. What does that look like in your market? Is there not a lot of music venues? Then you're probably going to be wanting to get out of town anyway and go play other places. So if that's not something where, say you're in a town of 4,000 or 5,000 people and you're wanting to just get good, you got to figure out what your band's like. You got to go play some shows and figure out your sound and kind of let that naturally happen, and then try to magnify what that naturally comes out of you. And I think that if you can just go and do the best you can and not oversaturate, but play as much as you can and get as tight as you can do it through practicing, but it's good to go hit some gigs and just try to get as good as you can possibly get and snowball as many fans. So collecting emails, that's why everything that we've covered so far is so important, because the first thing they're going to be doing is, where can I find your stuff online? Well, direct them to your website, which points people to your social media channels. That's how they follow you. The only way you're going to get fans, you got to go get them. They're not going to come to you just because you exist. There's too many bands out there. So the faster you can go and collect the fans, get their information, their emails, and the things that an algorithm doesn't stop, which is the email newsletter, and we'll cover that later on. But gather these things and this information, because right now, as everybody knows, data is the number one thing. And as much as that might scare you, you need a little bit of data so you can reach back out to your fans and let them know when you're coming to town and stuff like that. So these were the 5 things that I found to be most important when starting a band. It is creating your email, starting your social media channels, starting your domain and collecting a web host and getting that started, getting an awesome logo, and then building a gig strategy to build as many fans as you possibly can. And in future episodes, we're going to be talking about what do I do after I get these fans and how do I maximize them. If you guys are listening to the audio version of this, you can go to beatsbytravis.com and there'll be a link to the YouTube channel, or you can go to the Beats by Travis podcast on YouTube. Just type it in and these will be popping up. Hope these are helpful, guys. If you have any questions, if you want me to cover anything in future episodes, I'm going to be doing these little episodes as I go with this new project. And, like I said, at this point of recording this, we've already played a few shows. We've built some content and stuff like that. So the next 5 steps that I've taken will be on the next episode. Thank you guys for listening. This podcast is sponsored by Bandzoogle. You can go to bandzoogle.com, and it is a platform that is made for musicians that allows you to be able to select a template of your choosing and then be able to create a website for your band. And if you type in the promo code Beatsbytravis15, you save yourself 15% at checkout. So there you go. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to subscribe and tell your friends about the podcast, and we'll see you next time.